Got a nice bridge here. It looks a little wet. I'm seeing some mist right here, so this must be the falls we're coming up on. So let's get our first view of the falls. Wow. Good morning here from Washington, everybody. We are in Olympic National Park officially. We are going to do a few things today. So today's video, we're going to be here at Sol Duc Falls. So we're going to do the Sol Duc Trail. There's a lot of stuff in the national park right now that's closed, but this is one of the more popular things and it is not closed. So this will be the first thing we do today. It's kind of up in the park a little bit more than some of the other things we're going to do, which are near and around Lake Crescent. So I'm trying to see if I could get a distance on this trail. Let's see. So here we are, and we're going to do Sol Duc Falls, which I cannot make out. Here he is. Sol Duc River Trail.
We're here.
There's the falls. Oh, okay. So it only looks like
0.8.
That's 0.7. So
What's that?
0.8. Yeah, so it's just over a mile or so. Now here's the grade. So here's the trailhead. It should be flat all the way to the falls. So that's good. Micah does not like his hat, or maybe he's just stretching it out. I don't know. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on this trail. Does not look like it's flat right from the start, but that's okay.
I'm pretty sure it was downhill.
Oh, is that what?
Wrong.
Was I reading it wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, you just tell me then. Jeez.
Well, I wasn't sure if I was right or not, so I was trying to process if I was right.
Okay, so
Pretty sure it's
there we
downhill
go.
the whole way.
Sol Duc Falls, 0.8. Cool. So downhill there, uphill back. Wilderness camping permits and bear canisters required for overnight trips. Okay. So we are here at the end of April. It is the 28th.
Yeah.
28th. He got his hat off.
Can I have it? Thank you. I'll hold it.
It is April 28th, 2025. So we're here on a Monday. There's not a lot of people here, which is great. First thing you notice about this is all the moss on the trees. I think that's what makes it really unique. We've been seeing it as we drove in everywhere. So once we got about half hour, or I guess right when we got entered the park, you just started seeing the moss covering these trees everywhere. Very cool. So, but here on a Monday, so nobody here, which is good. We're gonna get the park, you know, lightly to ourselves. But we are here early in the season, so if you're not familiar with the parks in these areas, these are kind of up in mountains and hills and things like that. And in April, they get still have a lot of snow from the winter. So some of the places are closed because of either the snow, or over the winter they lose roads and things like that. So I know like the most popular part of this park is the Hoh Forest, and that is all closed for the time being. I don't know when it's going to open because there's a road that leads to it that is controlled by the county and not by the national park, and that road is gone. And they said until the county fixes it, they can't open. So, and they had no timeline on it, so we can't do that. So we'll just have to do that and a few other things. Okay, let's go ahead, start just getting some steps under us. That little clearing there is kind of cool, and get a little bit closer to the falls. Okay, we've been hiking for maybe 15-20 minutes. Our watch says we're at about 0.7 miles in, so the hike was supposed to, or the falls is supposed to be at about 0.8, so we should be getting pretty close to there. I can hear, I don't know if it's a falls, but I'm hearing a creek at least, so I know we're getting there. You can see these trees are pretty awesome. This is we've been comparing it to, I think, redwoods, sequoia or redwoods, one or the other, maybe a little bit of both, except it's got a lot of that cool mossy stuff on all the trees. But these trees are enormous, and of course with enormous trees comes, you know, tripping hazards, roots, rocks everywhere. Seems like every time you go to a place where it's like, man, I just want to look up all these trees, you can't, because you got to look down at the rocks and you got to look down for the roots the whole time. But pretty cool. If you've never been to redwoods or sequoia or anything like that, this is pretty close to it. Obviously it's a little different, but this will give you a little bit of the feeling of those tall trees. So it's been a little bit downhill, a little bit uphill, but maybe flat on average. I don't know exactly, but not too bad. Basically, if you can walk a mile or so, I don't think you'd have any problem doing this. You just gotta watch where you step. We have seen maybe a handful of couples coming from the falls, so there are some people here, but for the most part it's been pretty empty. Get a lot of nice greens in here. You can see everything starting to just green up for the spring. All these little leaves have just opened up in the last couple of weeks. Okay, now the water's really starting to get loud. I'm not sure if you can hear it in the background or not, but we should be just a little ways from the falls, and I'm just starting to see a structure up here through the trees. Right about there, some sort of structure. So let's get up there real quick. Lots of these streams, I'm sure, are maybe a lot of snow melt from up in the mountains. They're full right now. Okay, here we go. Sol Duc Falls to the right, Lover's Lane to the right, Deer Lake to the right, Seven Lakes Basin Loop to the left. Okay. So, Sol Duc Falls this way. Oh wow, we are up kind of high here. There you can start to see the stream we've been hearing. So the falls should be just through there. So here's the shelter. Let's check that out real quick. I'm guessing you have to reserve these ahead of time, but it looks like they've got a bunch of shelters around in here. It looked like there was a lot of camping and stuff, but I didn't realize there was full. I mean, look at that. That's not just a shelter. That's like a freaking house almost. Got a whole porch and everything. So there's a little information about it, and then here's the inside. So not much to the inside, obviously, but I've seen shelters that are kind of like this, but not one with a nice big porch on it, I guess, and looks like a spot for a fire ring or something. That's pretty cool, because you got the fire ring there, and then it actually has a spot where you can let the smoke come through there, so you can have a fire even if it's rainy, which is important here, because here in the northwest of the United States, you know, this greater Seattle area, all that, lots of rain. You know, even if it's just a little bit, it rains a lot. So very cool structure there. Okay, down to the falls. Okay, Got a nice bridge here. It looks a little wet. I'm seeing some mist right here, so this must be the falls we're coming up on. So let's get our first view of the falls. Wow. Very cool. Look at that. How narrow that is there. Must be maybe 6-8 feet narrow. Wow, I was not expecting this. Woo. Look at that. Very cool, huh? Not gonna find many waterfalls like that. That is cool. Wow. And the water is so clear, you can see on this side how bluey green, and you can see all the way through how clear it is. You do not see clear water like that where we're from, at least on the eastern half of the United States. You know, that's stuff that we saw in Croatia when we went to Croatia, Montenegro, but now that we're getting here, we saw it in our last hike back there. Very cool. So let me take this in a little bit, get some pictures, and then talk to you a little bit more. So here you can see the trail continues. So if you're doing the Seven Lakes Basin Loop Trail, you'd continue that away. Same with the Deer Lake and Lover's Lane, they continue that away. And then from here to the left is just Sol Duc Falls, there's campsites. So this way would be campsites, we're not doing that, but there are a couple of viewpoints here. Might be a little bit different look at the falls. A little bit wet there, so let me get up on the step. You see the waterfall a little bit. Very cool. See if any of these are any better. It's a lot of water. Can't imagine you get too much more water coming down this river very often, at least. Oh. Take that tree out, we get a really cool view. Wow. So, and then the campsites, I guess they'll be just past there. Cool. So why don't we go ahead and head back? So we can go ahead, start heading back. Pretty easy trail. If you can do steps and walk about a mile in and a mile back, should be no problem. We're here at the end of April and it's about 50 degrees. So it's on the chilly side, but there's no real wind in here. We got no rain right now. So, okay, sorry, quick driver change. So, pretty easy for most people to do, and I guess, yeah, it was 50 degrees, just a light jacket. I just got some long sleeves on, and I'm fine. Maybe you need a little bit more than me. So, only 0.8 miles in, and it felt pretty much like 0.8. So not too bad. Looks like we're gonna have a little bit more uphill, I think, on the way back out than we had on the way in, but not too bad. Not too bad. So I understand why it's such a popular hike, because distance wise it's not too far, right off the trailhead, and you get a really cool waterfall. So I think this is probably a good point to end the video. So if you liked the video, hit the like button now. Yeah.
And like and subscribe.
Yeah. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, we're going to do at least a couple more hikes here today, here in Olympic. And we're going to be all in and around Washington for the next couple months. So we're going to hit up some awesome spots up here in Washington. And hint, maybe we will do something in Oregon. We have some plans. We will see. But lots of stuff up here in the Northwest. So make sure you subscribe to see some of that. And obviously comment. Make sure you, if you made it to this part of the video, you comment. Be the first one to comment. Start the trend. Questions, anything like that. If there's things that we missed here, or if there's a trail we should have hit up, let us know. Let the other followers, subscribers know about that as well. So until then, we will see you in the next one.